What's up, guys? Here on mile 22, just 9 more to go. Coming up out of this climb from Muir Beach. Beautiful weather. It's 6:46 a.m. on Saturday, November 16th. Time for the North Face 50K. Here we're at the start of the North Face Endurance Challenge, the 50K version, and it's about 7 a.m. and just like that, we're off. There was a ton of elevation gain and descent right from the get-go. I think in the first 2.5 miles of this course, there was about 800 feet of elevation gain, which is kind of a lot. And the fog. That was another consistent theme to the start of this race, and really the first half to 3/4 of it. It was on the one hand nice because it kept the temperatures pretty cool, but it really hindered some of these amazing views that you'll normally see when you're running these trails. And here we're coming up over the top of the Fox Trail. Right now this is about 800 foot of elevation, and again, there's quite a bit of fog. Normally you'd be able to see a shot of the city looking behind me, but not today, not on this morning. And already it was getting pretty warm. I had to quickly take off the red windbreaker that I was wearing at the start of the race. And here we're gradually making our way northwest towards Muir Beach. This is the first little descent we had, and the trail here was a bit looser of gravel, so you definitely had to be careful on your descent here. Pretty easy to sort of have a misstep and roll your ankle. Definitely want to avoid doing that, especially when you're less than 5 miles in. And here we are at the Muir Beach overlook. Again, normally on a clear day, when it's not foggy, you'd be able to see a pretty breathtaking view. And right here, that girl's like, "What are you doing?" But today, with the fog this morning, it's really difficult to see. But here's Muir Beach. And here we are descending towards Muir Beach, about to cross Highway 1, and this is right at about mile 8. Nice little meadow right here as we're crossing this single track trail. About to start a pretty good climb here towards the left. And here you can kind of just get a better sense for how large this climb's going to be and how large this meadow is. And right at about mile 10, you're presented with a huge set of switchbacks here, and you can see all the runners up there slowly grinding it out as they climb to the top. At this point, I'm feeling really good. Legs are feeling strong. I've been keeping up on the hydration, nutrition so far. Like I said, we're about 10 miles in, 11 maybe, and feeling great. And we finally made it to the top of this climb. Take a look at those views. Bit of fog here, but really still incredibly beautiful. My shaky footage doesn't really do it justice here, but this is probably up until this point the most beautiful part of the trail run so far. And just incredible views at this point here. Take a look at that fog. Wow. I think we're about 1,000 feet of elevation, and still have a bit more climbing to do until we get to really the first major aid station. What's up, guys? Here at mile 11, almost halfway there, feeling good, finally clearing up. Yeah, I don't know why I said almost halfway there. Mile 11 out of 32.7 is pretty much a third of the way there, so I was definitely a little bit optimistic at that point. But I think just a sign of how good I was feeling. You know, I was feeling really strong, excited to push forward. Just absolutely gorgeous weather for this race. You know, I honestly couldn't have asked for anything better. Yeah, the start was a little bit foggy, but once it cleared up, it got quite warm, which I like, you know, low to mid 70s. Little section of some single track trail here. And as we round this corner here, we're approaching Cardiac Hill, which is right around mile 12. This is the first major aid station, and they have water, soda, electrolyte, snacks, sandwiches, all that good stuff. And now we're out of the aid station, refueled, rehydrated, quick bathroom break, and we're ready to go. The trail here is getting slightly more technical, nothing too crazy, but definitely got to pay attention to where you're stepping. There's small rocks, smaller boulders here. Pretty easy to roll an ankle, and definitely don't want to do that. What's up, y'all? Here at mile 16.7, more than halfway. Feeling real good. Got Miko back here from Strava, killing it. Pretty funny to see Miko here on the trail. Our companies do business with one another, and we knew that both of us were going to do this race, but just with so many people running it, I really didn't expect to bump into him, so to see him on the trail was a nice surprise. More narrow single track trail here. Definitely had to be careful with your footing. You know, if you had a wrong step on the right hand side, you'd definitely have a tumble. What's up, guys? We're here at mile 22.2. So a little less than 9 miles to go. Just did the climb from Muir Beach to, I guess, Tennessee Valley Trail. It's a really good climb. All the more tough when you've already got 22 miles in. Feeling good. Weather's beautiful. So should be at the finish in 2 hours, hopefully less. All right, peace. Man, check out how much fog is covering the Pacific Ocean. And up that way is where we're headed. Now at this point in the race, it was really starting to get hot. I'd say mid to upper 70s. Had to take off my long sleeve for sure. And this is also part of the course where the 50K runners and the 50 milers sort of converge. And this guy in front of me was one of those 50 milers, just absolutely shredding it. And I think they started a full hour and a half before us, so about 5:30. And yeah, this guy is 40 something miles into his race, and looking so strong. Here we're making our descent towards Tennessee Valley along the Fox Trail. Off in the distance, you can just barely make out San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge. More stunning views here. I mean, honestly, this never gets old. My camera doesn't do it quite justice, but amazing views. You can see Tiburon there, Sausalito, Marin. There's Mount Tam there. Incredible. You can see the tip of the Golden Gate Bridge there, just peeking out from behind those hills. There's Sutro Tower way off in the distance, and the Pacific Ocean is just behind that fog over there. You know, at this point, the finish line seems so close yet so far. You know, we're already 26 something miles into this race. Over a full marathon in, yeah, we're still a couple miles away from the bridge, probably 4 or 5 miles from the finish line. A bit more single track here. Definitely had to be careful with your footing. Didn't want to have a misstep this far into the race. And again, more breathtaking views. Definitely needed to rock the t-shirt at this point, though I'm not sure black was the best choice, but hey. And if it wasn't already obvious at this point, we're headed straight for San Francisco. The finish line is actually right at Crissy Field, so just over the bridge. Heading straight into this little tree tunnel here, and out on the other side is the Golden Gate Bridge. Epic view of the city here. You can make out the entire skyline. There's Alcatraz peeking out from out of the fog there in the bay. And we're so close here. We're almost at the bridge. I can taste the finish line. I can taste the post-race beer and food, and just looking forward to relaxing. This is pretty cool here, this little emerald green oasis of plant life, sort of in the midst of this brown, dead shrubbery around it. I don't even know what kind of plants these are, but they're doing really, really well in this spot. Woo! We finally made it to the bridge, though if you have ever run on the bridge, you know that it's actually not that fun. It's super loud and crowded with tourists, but hey, we made it. And the descent coming to the bridge, though, was a little painful, you know, tough on the quads because it was so steep, but hey, we made it. So the funny thing was, this whole time during this 50K, I was thinking to myself that I only had to run 31 miles. I didn't actually realize that the race was 32.7, so it was over a mile more than I was expecting, and that made for an interesting surprise at the end. And this is the last little stretch before the finish line, and look at that, we're at mile 32, about 6 hours and 15 minutes into this race. And again, surprisingly feeling pretty good, you know? I thought I'd be feeling a lot worse than I was at this point. Woo! We made it, finally, to Crissy Field, the finish line. This is sort of the runner's finish area, and you know, I wasn't going to be the guy to film myself crossing the finish line, so instead I'll be that guy narrating myself crossing the finish line via photos. Snapped a selfie at the end, of course. Hey, what's up guys? We're back home, we made it, we finished the North Face 50K Endurance Challenge, and boy, that was a lot of fun. Well organized, well supported race, incredible views, incredible well-maintained trails, well marked, good competition, though, you know, it was my first 50K trail race. I wasn't really trying to compete too much. I really just wanted to be able to finish the race. I think as I do more of these ultra trail running events, I'll definitely try and compete a bit more, but as a first timer, you know, the goal is just to really finish. So a lot of fun, super jazzed that I was able to do it, especially in light of last year, right? So that was when I originally signed up for this race. And due to the wildfires here in Northern California, they actually had to postpone the event to this year. So I was waiting well over a year for this event to happen. It finally did, and I couldn't be happier. Looking at the Strava stats, it took me about 6 hours and 45 minutes to complete this, and I burned something ridiculous like 3,700 calories. So with that being said, it's time to go eat and relax, and thanks for following along. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.